Hi Leo, welcome to your love reading for February 2018. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. So we are working with two decks as always, and you had a few jumping cards from each deck. Let me show you what you have. From this deck, you had this card, and it is the Ten of Wands, and you also had the Ace of Swords. So this card can be telling you that someone is feeling really overwhelmed in a relationship. This is a card of heavy energy, heavy draining energy, a burden. Someone feels like they can't take something anymore. However, this came out with the Ace of Swords, and this represents a moment of clarity, like somebody finally understands something that was escaping them. So it could be that somebody was really feeling like this relationship has become too much. This is a 10, which does represent endings, but you have a new beginning and a new way of thinking. So it could be that someone is changing their mind about a relationship where they were feeling pretty fed up and about to give up. So I'm going to put these back here. Let me show you the other cards that jumped. You have Justice and the Eight of Swords. So this is interesting as well, considering what jumped from this deck. Justice does represent sometimes an apology, so that resonates with the message of somebody changing their mind. Maybe somebody did walk away, but this is someone trying to make things, someone trying to make things right with you. And then the Eight of Swords. This could be that you can't decide whether you want this person back. This can also just be feeling trapped, perhaps because you feel somebody needs to apologize to you. Okay, so I'm going to put them back in the deck, and let's get 9 cards from this deck. This is a love reading for the sign of Leo, February 2018. You have the Hangman, love reading for the sign of Leo, the Ace of Cups, love reading for the sign of Leo, the Moon, love reading for the sign of Leo, the Ace of Swords, love reading for the sign of Leo, the Eight of Pentacles, love reading for the sign of Leo, the Page of Cups, love reading for the sign of Leo, the Nine of Cups, love reading for the sign of Leo, the World, the Knight of Pentacles. What's the most important message that the sign of Leo needs to hear for the month of February 2018? And you have the Chariot. So this represents a lot of things changing in your love life. This represents a lot of movement, but it does mean you have to be really persistent in getting what you want. We'll come back to this to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. And let's focus on the first 3 cards. So this is interesting. You have 2 major arcanas, the Hangman and the Moon, with the Ace of Cups in the middle. So the Hangman, it does represent being in limbo. It represents feeling stuck. And remember, you did have the Eight of Swords jump for you when I was properly shuffling. None of those cards have appeared yet, but that was still part of the message, especially with the Hangman being the first card. So the Hangman, it's a major arcana, and it does mean, that something, you feel like something is stalling your love life. You feel like things are not moving forward. And then you have the Moon on the other side, and the Moon is, kind of really mysterious energy that is telling you that there could be something you don't know. And this came up, I think it was for the sign of Pisces. So if you have a Moon or rising sign of Pisces, or your partner is a Pisces, you may want to watch that. The Moon just kind of, it's like you only know half the story. You only know half the truth. There's something that you're not seeing. It can represent, that maybe somebody has cold feet. It represents someone being frightened, somebody maybe kind of holding back a little bit. But you have this message from the Ace of Cups in the middle, where this is a new beginning. This is a relationship, either you meeting somebody new if you're single, or it just means that even though a relationship is stalled, maybe there are things you don't know yet, or maybe you just don't know whether the relationship is going to survive. Maybe you don't know where things are going. Love is still there. And the Ace of Cups, it means this relationship is going to continue. There will be a new beginning. Even if you are feeling a little bit stuck, even if your partner is stalling things, even if you're feeling a little bit lost and confused. Again, the energy of the Moon, you're confused. You feel like there are things that you don't know and you wonder what's really going on with them. Usually with the moon, like, you do hear what you need to hear. There is some type of truth that is revealed to you. Remember, you did have the Ace of Swords jump for you at the beginning of the reading, which does represent clarity and truth. So it could be that things, you know, were kind of iffy with your partner, off and on, or there was, you know, you were stuck in a certain phase. It could be that in the month of February, with the moon being here, that you finally understand why you were stuck. And like I said, with the Ace of Cups in the middle, which is a really positive and beautiful card, that even though you were stuck and confused, the relationship continues. Now, in the middle row here, you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. So the Ace of Cups, you know, you have two aces so far, and we're only on the second row. And this is another new beginning. This is telling you that regardless of what's going on in your love life, and there is something going on because you start off with the Hangman, there are unexpected blessings coming into your life as far as love and romance. The Ace of Pentacles, this is, you know, a new beginning, but it's like unexpected, positive things happening for you. Remember that the main energy was the Chariot, which is victory. You're overcoming this obstacle of being stuck. And there's a lot of movement coming in your relationship, which is especially, this is what you need to hear when you start off with the Hangman, which is things being stuck. And the Ace of Pentacles is just telling you there's a lot of unexpected blessings coming your way when it comes to love. You do have the Eight of Pentacles there, which does tell me that there is something that needs to be done. This is a relationship that you're in that needs to be worked on. The Eight of Pentacles is about building a relationship up. It's not perfect, but no relationship is perfect anyway. So this just means you and your partner have to work on things. There's, you know, still a new beginning here. Telling me there will be something that changes for the positive. You also have the Page of Cups, and this could be that, you know, you have to communicate with each other. The Page of Cups represents emotional communication, communication from the heart. It could be that you have to wear your heart on your sleeve. There has to be a heart-to-heart conversation. All the pages represent communication, but this is emotional communication. So it could be that there is a new beginning. It could be that there's a new beginning and somebody's pouring out their heart to you, where there could be a lot of work as far as getting things back on track. But hear them out with the Page of Cups being here. This is someone kind of speaking from the heart. Of course, it could also just represent a relationship, kind of like the Ace of Cups. It could just represent a relationship that is getting stronger, or it can even be a new relationship for those who are single. Now, in the bottom row, you have the Nine of Cups, the World, and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is good to see in a reading, because this is telling me, this is the Wish card, and it's telling me that whatever it is that you most want to see in your love life, whether it's meeting somebody new, or it's getting a certain person back in your life, or being able to work things out with your current partner, you're getting what you want. Your wish is coming true. But I feel like this could take time. I mean, you have the Knight of Pentacles here, and the Knight of Pentacles does mean that, you know, you will reach your goal eventually. This is kind of a slow moving energy, but we already knew that because you have the Eight of Pentacles telling me that there's a lot of work to do with whatever it is that's going on in your love life. But the Nine of Cups is saying you will ultimately get, and maybe not right away, but you ultimately will get what you want from, you know, whether your partner or just in general meeting somebody new. You do have the World right in the middle. The World is a major arcana, and it represents closure. And for some of you, I mean, this may not be for everybody, but the World, I mean, this represents kind of closing the door on an old chapter in your life. So if you've recently had a breakup and you're hoping to meet somebody new, you're going to have to really kind of like leave that in the past and move on. And it could take time with the Knight of Pentacles being here. This is the only way for you to meet somebody new. For those who are already coupled, the World could just be that you're going to have to close the door on that old chapter in your life, or maybe you and your partner bicker a lot, or there's, you know, a lot of instability, a lot of going back and forth. The World just means that, you know, it's time to close the door on that old chapter. If you can do that, I mean, you will get what you want. That wish will come true, whatever that means to you. Of course, this will take time with the Knight of Pentacles. There will be slow progress towards that dream coming true, but you're going to have to kind of meet everything halfway by willing to kind of close the door on that old chapter in your life. Okay, so let's get some more cards from this deck and see what other messages come up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo for February? You have the Two of Swords. Messages for the sign of Leo. Five of Wands, messages for the sign of Leo, and the Three of Wands. Okay, so, you know, one thing that I see right away that really stands out to me is that you have the Three of Wands, because this really ties in with the Knight of Pentacles. This is telling you that you're making progress in your love life. You know, whether you actually believe that or not, whether you see the results or not, you're making progress. And the Three of Wands, this is, you know, a future kind of energy, and it's telling you that if you sit tight, if you're patient, you're gonna get what you want. Ultimately, this is a card of like your ship will come in. If you're waiting, if you're looking towards the future, if you're being optimistic, you know. And I see some kind of weird energy here with the Two of Swords and the Five of Wands. So let's go through it. You have the Two of Swords. I mean, this really ties in with the Hangman. They both represent stuck energy. So it could be that you're feeling stuck in your relationship, and things have become really complicated with this energy. And it could be that there is a lot of fighting going on. I mean, you have the Five of Wands. This is pettiness. This is not kind of nasty energy like the Five of Swords. But it does mean that there's a lot of petty arguments, a lot of bickering back and forth. So it could be that you're feeling stuck as far as like you and your partner. Like, will things ever get better? And I see that they will in time. But this also, you know, this represents a really, really complicated decision. And I've been bringing this up in the readings for February because I've been having a lot of private readings. And I don't just mean just one or two. It's like every reading someone is telling me that they're either interested in someone who's already involved with someone else, or, you know, there is like some type of love triangle going on. This does represent a really difficult decision. And I bring that up because you have the Five of Wands here. And this is a card of competition. So it could be that you have some competition going on. This may not be for everyone, but seeing this, the twos also represent choices. Having to choose between two things, two people, two outcomes. And then you have competition. So it could be that, you know, you're waiting for something, you know, to turn out in your favor. Maybe you're hoping, you know, that you're the one who's going to get picked. Maybe there is someone else in the picture, and you're hoping that you will be the one who will end up with the partner. It could be that things are really complicated, but you do have the Three of Wands telling you if you're patient, if you're really kind of focused on getting what you want, ultimately you're going to have that opportunity that you're really looking forward to. Okay, so let's get some more confirmation from the other deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Leo for February? You have the Seven of Cups, messages for the sign of Leo. The Queen of Swords, messages for the sign of Leo. The Ten of Pentacles. What's the most important message that Leo needs to hear for February? The Six of Wands. This is funny because this is the Victory card in the Minor Arcana, and the main energy from the other deck was the Victory from the Major Arcana. So there is a strong energy here of victory for you. You know, whether you are in the middle of some love triangle and you're hoping that things turn out in your favor, or maybe it's not a love triangle. Maybe there's just a lot of fighting, a lot of misunderstandings between you and your partner. You're just not getting along. You have victory here twice. Major Arcana, Minor Arcana. Things are working out in your favor. Okay, so let's take a look at these three cards. So you have the Seven of Cups. This still makes me feel like, you know, for some of you, persistent message that you could be dealing with a third party, because the Seven of Cups does represent that there are other choices. In fact, there's so many choices that somebody's lost and confused. And it could be that there is an air sign involved. You have the Queen of Swords, which is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. And it could be that someone is highly confused. This can even be you. This could even be that, you know, you're interested in two people and you don't know who to choose. And it could be that, you know, there's a marriage involved. There is a marriage here with the Ten of Pentacles. But this could also just be that, you know, right now, whatever it is that's happening in your love life, it's really confusing to you. And you do have the Moon, which also represents confusion. So it ties in with this energy. There's something really confusing going on in your love life, which, like I said, could involve someone who is an air sign. This could even be you if you have a moon or a rising sign in Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You're confused, and you're, you know, with this energy here, you're really emotional. You're emotional, and you're not seeing things clearly. Remember, you had the Ace of Swords jump at the beginning, which means that ultimately there will be clarity, even if you're not seeing it right now. And, you know, there is a marriage here. The Ten of Pentacles, this does represent marriage. It represents stability. So it could be that, you know, you're not, I mean, with the Seven of Cups being here, it could be that you're a little lost and confused as far as your relationship. Maybe you're not really understanding if you and your partner are going to stay married. Maybe because there's been a lot of misunderstandings or a lot of fighting. Maybe there's been someone else in the picture. So it just means that you're confused. And you could be feeling a little lost. Maybe those who are single, you're feeling confused as far as like, you know, why am I still single? But, you know, whatever it is that's going on, I see a marriage here. Either like you're meeting somebody that is potentially your life partner, or whatever it is that you're going through with your partner, even though it's highly confusing and really emotional, I still see you together here. Okay, so let's go through these cards and kind of see what energies are the most important here. Well, definitely, I mean, you start off with the Hangman. I mean, I always feel like the most important card is the first one. And remember, you had the Eight of Swords jump at the beginning of the reading. That's someone feeling stuck. And then you start off with the Hangman, which is being stuck and being in limbo. And like I said, this reminded me of the Ace of Swords jumping for you at the beginning of the reading, because that represents, you know, somebody finally understanding something. The Hangman is hanging upside down because he needs to change the way that he's thinking. And like I said, with the Ace of Swords jumping for you, it could be that somebody is changing their mind. I think you had it jump with the Ten of Wands, which is a very kind of heavy energy of not being able to take anything anymore. So it could be that your relationship is stuck. Maybe somebody doesn't know if they want to continue in the relationship. Maybe there's just too much. Maybe there's just too much of this going on. Too much pettiness, too many fights, too many misunderstandings. And, you know, perhaps someone is feeling really trapped. And this is a really difficult decision to make. So it could be that, you know, you're stuck. There's a lot of confusion about why you're stuck. But again, a positive message in the middle. Two major arcanas and a positive message saying, yes, you may feel stuck. You may feel really confused. There's confusion here. There's confusion here. But a relationship remains. Your relationship is still intact. Now, in the middle row, just summing everything up, you know, unexpected blessings headed your way. No matter like what is going on, there is some type of unexpected blessing. It could be that you're hearing from someone, you know, from the past, the Page of Cups, someone reaching out to you, where in order maybe to have this new beginning, there could be a lot of work that has to be done to make the relationship solid again, to, you know, to rekindle that connection. But the Ace of Pentacles mean that you will have that opportunity for a new beginning. There's a lot of blessings around you for the month of February. And down here, I mean, this is just telling you that you've got to be patient. The Knight of Pentacles, you've got to be patient. Ultimately you're going to get what you want. And I see a lot of repeating messages for the Knight of Pentacles. You have that, and you have the Three of Wands telling you if you just sit tight. And I don't know if this is because you're waiting for someone. I don't know if it's because you're waiting for someone to choose you, or maybe you're having to decide. If you're just patient here, you're ultimately going to have that perfect opportunity to be with the person you want to be with. I see you getting what you want right here with the Nine of Cups. This is your wish coming true. This is you being extremely happy. And, you know, there could be some type of ending involved with the World being here. It's a general reading, so it's hard to say what this ending could be. It could be that in order for you to be with the person that you love, that you may have to end another relationship. Because I'm kind of see some repeating energies of perhaps, you know, a love triangle going on. Maybe in order for you to get that wish, you're going to have to end things with another partner, with the World being here. It's time to close the door on that old chapter. But like I said, this can also just be that you have to leave the fights and the disagreements in the past, especially with this energy being here. But there's just so much work to do to build a relationship maybe back to what it once was. There has to be a lot of communication. So I feel like if you're really struggling in a marriage or in a relationship where you've not been talking, you've been holding back, maybe you don't want to anger your partner, maybe you don't want to pressure them, there's a need to speak clearly here. There's a need to speak from the heart. This is how I feel about you. This is what I want. If you can do that, there is new energy around your relationship or your marriage. The Ace of Pentacles is just something magical happening in your love life, even though it's going to take work, but the energy is still there. This is your opportunity to be with the person that you love. And again, over here, with this energy from the Two of Swords, this is something that is really, really difficult. I think out of all the minor arcana, this one is the most difficult. It's just a really, it does represent stuck energy. You know, it just means things are stuck, but it also means that there could be a very difficult decision that somebody has to make. A very difficult decision. Like I said, I felt like it could be somebody having to choose, but that won't apply to everyone. It could be that somebody has to choose a particular partner. It could be that there's two people involved. But it could also just be that you have to make a difficult decision to continue a relationship where there's been a lot of disagreements, a lot of fighting. Again, this is not a negative energy. It just means that, you know, people, your partner and you are very different, and you're not getting along. And perhaps this is something with the Two of Swords being here. Maybe this is something you don't want to hear and you don't want to see. With the Two of Swords, this is the energy of just ignoring something, sticking your head in the sand and saying there's nothing going on here. Clearly there's something going on with the Five of Wands being here. If it's not competition, then it means that things are getting really petty. And maybe this is something that you've got to look at it. You've got to face it. And again, this is telling you again that you will have that opportunity to be happy again. For those where there is no love triangle, you will have that perfect opportunity to get your relationship back on track. Like I said, you have the Eight of Pentacles right in the middle of the reading. This is just telling you it's going to take time. It's going to take work. So just kind of summing up this reading. There's confusing energy. I feel like here's whatever it is that's going on in your life, I feel like you're confused about something. You're either confused, like, why are we not moving forward? Like, why isn't he or she, you know, why aren't we moving forward as a couple? Why are we not moving in together? Why are we not getting married? I feel like you might feel like you're in the dark. I just see confusing energy. Even just talking about it is making me feel confused. Confusing energy here, here, here. There's confusing energy in this reading. But ultimately you have, you know, several messages of new beginnings. New beginnings, work to be done. You need to be speaking from the heart in the month of February. Knowing that it's going to take time, but you're eventually going to get what you want from your partner. Or if you're single, you're going to eventually meet that perfect person. Okay, Leo, this has been your love reading for February 2018. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.